Hello and good morning, Blue Jays fans, and welcome to Jays Latest. I am your host, Craig Borden, and we're going to talk all things Toronto Blue Jays. Sorry I've been gone the last few days. Been a little under the weather, not feeling so hot, and there hasn't been a lot going on. So just saying. But apparently it's that time of year where we get to already talk major, weird, down off the wall bull predictions and some other things going on. But first, let's dive into those headlines. So time is running out on the Japanese superstars Tatsuya Mai and I don't know, not Murakami, Kazuma Akamoto, and the two of them have been very sought after. There is a line of people, and Akamoto especially was actually just here in the United States and had people come to him to talk about this. So both of them are approaching their posting date deadlines, and that once again, just to bring everybody back up to speed, that is that the Japanese teams they're currently affiliated with are allowing them a window of time to quote unquote talk to Major League Baseball teams. If a Major League Baseball team signs them, they pay the posting fee to those teams to say, hey, I'm poaching your player. And then they become a Major League Baseball player and whatever team ends up signing them. So it does help. It is what it is. It just kind of keeps things fair because otherwise the Blue Jays and all these other teams would just steal every good player out of the Japanese league without any repercussions. So this kind of helps out both parties. Tatsuya Mai is automatically one of the better pitchers in free agency if anybody can sign him. He's a young 27-year-old. He looks fiery. He looks like he's got a great handle on his things. Another splitter. That's what happens. But the comment that still resonates with me with him is the fact that he was like, oh, I could just sign with the Dodgers, but wouldn't it be more fun to beat them was kind of the summary of that conversation. And I just love that attitude. I think that's really cool. I think it's great. And the Blue Jays and anybody would be happy to have somebody with that kind of a mentality on their roster and just keep things moving. So his deadline is 4 o'clock Central Time on Friday. So we're going to hear that news on where Tatsuya Mai signs in the very, very, very near future. Meanwhile, his fellow countryman Kazuma Akamoto is also going to be done with that in the next few days. Thankfully, they're not all on right on the same day. January 4th is his, so he will be a couple of extra days. But it sounds like the Blue Jays are in on Akamoto. He's a power hitting young first third baseman. We just saw Musaka Okami signed with the White Sox, and could have some fun in that lineup. But nobody's going to pitch to him is my worry, and it's only going to make him look bad. But in a lineup with Vlad Jr. and everything, Akamoto could look very, very good in this Toronto Blue Jays attack. We'll see what happens. It's been the Blue Jays, Angels, Padres, and Red Sox have been the most likely picked with Akamoto, and then the Phillies, Cubs, Yankees, and the Mets have been really, really linked to Tatsuya Mai. So we'll see what's that. It's going to be very, very near future. Could even be today. Who knows? So meanwhile, as we move down the list here, the Diamondbacks are trying to play their own little deadline here at the same time, saying that they need some closure for this off season so that they can, or at least closure on the focus on the Ketel Marte, so they know where to focus their efforts to finish their off season. So they're kind of putting a soft deadline on if you want something, you better hurry up and offer it up. And so far, it has been deemed most unlikely to trade him with the offers that we've been apparently seeing. It was the other part of that conversation from the general manager of the Diamondbacks. So they haven't gotten some serious offers for him, is what I read. That it could be just as much of a GM game as anything else, but I do get what he's saying. You talk about what Cal Marte means to the Arizona Diamondbacks. If they're going to push anything into the table here, he could be at the center of it. He is their best player, pretty much by far. And at this point, if they don't know what the hell they're going to be doing come spring training, and they're still waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting on him, you're talking about not doing anything with trading him until the trade deadline. And just keep it that simple. So, that being said, I throw a bunch of players at him, and I honestly, the free agent market is partly to blame. Usually, you don't see Kyle Tucker's, Bo Bichette's, all these guys still waiting around on the free agent line this late in the off season. Usually, the winter meetings is the giant catalyst for those top few guys on the market. Just how it works. But here we are. how many weeks later, and we still have to talk about this a year, almost literally going into the new year. We'll see. And then the last thing, outside of all the other weird rumors, it's already been stirring. The bold predictions. We're not even at spring training yet. Bold prediction season has apparently already started. So baseball writers around the Blue Jays are obviously way too excited. This one included, by the way. But I haven't been sitting here going, okay, great, he's going to be the best one. But this one I can get on board with. Anthony Santander. We all know how his debut season with the Toronto Blue Jays went, meaning nowhere. This is a guy that was hitting 30, 40 home runs perennially before that. So the idea would be that he is the Major League Baseball comeback player of the year, would be where the summary of a lot of these, wonderful bold predictions are going so far. His swinging rate and all these kind of wonderful things for years were just so good. Contact rate, hard contact rate, all these things that just don't magically vanish over a year. So unless he is literally turning into Anthony Santander, Tony Wage theft, which I don't think that's the content of his character, but we'll find out this season. We'll see. But that it would be an incredible addition to the Blue Jays. Because if you talk about we had one of the best offenses in baseball this year without him, if you get Bo Bichette back, that means you have plus. Otherwise, you're kind of making out the aggregate, at least in the home run category. Definitely not in the hits category. And that will be hard to replace for the Blue Jays if Bo Bichette walks. He's finished top in the American League and hits in many of his seasons. So Anthony Santander, though, has the pop to be able to be a 40 home run guy in this lineup with being surrounded by Vlad Jr., Alejandro Kirk, and company. And you also don't know what you're going to get out of Addison Barger in that repeat season, too. That could be another thunderous bat right behind him here. So I agree with that one. Some of the other ones I'm so far so good. It's kind of like, okay, great. The only other one I can get on board with is that Johnny King will actually make a major league debut this season. But I've been wrong many times. I've also been right many times. So on that note, Blue Jays fans, do you have your bold predictions already ready for this season? Drop them in the comments. Let us know what's going on. Keep us talking, and we'll bring up some of them for tomorrow's show. And we'll be talking on New Year's. So I hope you all have a great New Year's Eve. Get those resolutions ready, because that will be the focus of tomorrow's show. And we will talk Blue Jays tomorrow. And as always, go Jays.